Hi, my name is Travis Lindsay, and I'm here for the Center for Entrepreneurship at Cal State Fullerton. Today, I have the honor of talking with Dr. Barry Sandrew. And specifically, we're going to talk about a number of things, entrepreneurship and the upcoming SoCal Celebrates entrepreneurship event that we're going to have on March 9th of next year, 2024. Barry, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Well, I'm a former Harvard neuroscientist who became an internationally recognized serial entrepreneur and digital imaging expert, and I'm considered by many in the industry, the entertainment industry, as a visual effects pioneer. I came into Hollywood during the analog years. Hollywood hadn't changed much in 100 years, and I was instrumental in ushering in digital Hollywood, which changed everything. I have 34 patents. And I've got decades of feature film and TV accomplishments, including productions for all of the major Hollywood studios, TV networks, and serial cable networks. I invented the process of digitally colorizing black and white movies and founded a production studio called American Film Technologies. It became the gold standard for color visual effects. Now, hopefully, the audience will see It's Wonderful Life this season. I colorized the 75th anniversary version that came out in 2021, which is in high definition. I invented a paperless animation system at American Film Technologies that became the early digital pipeline of Spielberg's Amblimation. We produced his first digital animated feature film, which was Where Back a Dinosaur Story, that came out just before Jurassic Park. He wanted something that kids would enjoy that wouldn't scare them. But I also invented a process and a pipeline for converting 2D feature films to 3D, which became the de facto method of producing 3D films during the height of the 3D craze. And during that period, I founded Legend 3D, where my team and I produced 3D conversions and visual effects for over 65 of the highest grossing box office 3D feature films of the past 13 years. Currently, I'm managing director of the Innovation Hub at Westcliff University, where I'm working to create an entrepreneurial culture through the establishment of the Westcliff Startup Incubator, which we call Ignite, the Westcliff Distinguished Innovator Speaker Series, where I interview many of the world's most interesting authors, artists, inventors, explorers, and business leaders. I also created the Entrepreneur in Residence program there, and I'm active in our pro bono SMART capstone program, which has successfully accumulated accolades from about 105 client companies. As far as entrepreneurship is concerned, I'm passionate about innovation, creativity, and problem solving, and I enjoy mentoring aspiring young entrepreneurs and sharing my insight and experiences with them. In some of the workshops I teach, I let students understand that entrepreneurship is not only a career choice, but it's also a mindset and really a way of life, which I've certainly lived.
So, as a neuroscientist, I mean, I think you're uniquely qualified to talk about mindset. Just delving into yours a little bit, I mean, you have a tremendous background. So, you got your doctorate from Stony Brook, postdoc at Columbia, neuroscientist at Harvard, and then you went to Hollywood. After what, about 12 years or so on neuroscience, and then you went
About
to
8
Hollywood.
years. About eight
Okay.
years, yeah.
Yeah. So why did you change? I mean, what about your mindset compelled you to make that change?
Aside from money,
Money's a good one.
money's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, basically, some heavyweights from Hollywood, including Ted Turner,
Okay.
came to me. Ted Turner acquired the MGM library, which was a lot of feature films, classic movies that were in black and white. And a lot of them were going into public domain, which was going to deplete the asset value of that library. And if you colorize a black and white movie, you get a brand new copyright on the colorized version. So that was his strategy, but he needed someone to actually invent that process because this is way before Photoshop or any of that technology. Like I said, Hollywood was totally analog. They had no clue how to do this. In fact, no one had ever digitized an entire feature film before I came on board. And Bells of St. Mary's, which was it was the very first fully digital movie. Yeah, he brought me on. I colorized his MGM library, and the certainly the financial reward was a large part of my decision.
But I mean, it had to be a tremendous intellectual challenge as well, right? Creating something ex nihilo like that.
Actually, it was a lot simpler than neuroscience, frankly.
Okay,
Uh, but
touche.
it was a very exciting time, and it was interesting because I was at Harvard in the Department of Radiology, which really hadn't changed in 100 years since 1894 when X-rays were invented. Digital X-rays weren't there, and I was on the forefront of creating digital X-rays. I was working on that at the time, and that's one of the reasons why I was so attractive to Ted Turner, because if I could do that with X-rays, I could do it with black and white movies. And so when I went to Hollywood, I was put into a situation where this industry hadn't changed in 100 years. They're still using film the same way they did 100 years ago. I mean, nothing really. If you went into an editing studio in 1940, it would look just like the one in 1990. And I had to come up with a digital process for colorizing black and white movies, which I did.
Very cool. All right. So moving forward to today, now you are the managing director, like you said, of the Innovation Hub at Westcliff University. You're on the board of advisors for Evo Nexus. You're working with a lot of startups. You have a consulting firm, I believe, that where you work with post-seed startups and medium-sized high-tech companies to help them grow, and business development and corporate strategy and building out actual businesses. With that in mind, I mean, how do you see the state of entrepreneurship in Southern California with everything that's been going on the last few years, and what does the future look like?
Well, Southern California is a great tech ecosystem. I mean, it's got all the ingredients of Silicon Valley. Southern California has a large and diverse pool of human capital, a strong university system, a vibrant corporate environment, a supportive culture of innovation and growth available, and the availability of financial capital. Um, you know, California produces more PhDs than any other state in the U.S., and the University of California system produces more patents than any other university system in the U.S. I mean, that says a lot. So I think there's a wealth of opportunity here. There's also a lot of challenges, which I would like to bring up. High costs and taxes, strict, if not draconian, regulations and compliance, intense competition and innovation. I mean, there's a lot of very smart people here. So it's not the easiest place to start a business. It's a challenge, but we do it.
Okay, so I mean, yeah. So I grew up in Southern California. I worked at Cal State Fullerton for a decade, taught entrepreneurship there for a little bit, helped launch the incubator there. So yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of the same things that you're talking about. There are difficulties, but there's a huge, sprawling foundation that goes to support everything entrepreneurial.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the reasons why we decided to start this event called SoCal Celebrates Entrepreneurship, bring together a bunch of people to talk about the different stages of launching a business and growing it and investing in one. So why did you decide that this was a good event to be involved with, and what should people expect from it?
Well, I mean, anyone who's interested in learning more about entrepreneurship and innovation and the social impact of innovation should attend SoCal Celebrates Entrepreneurship. It's a great opportunity to meet and learn from successful entrepreneurs and mentors and inventors, investors rather, as well as connect with like-minded individuals who share the same passion, and vision that you do as a young entrepreneur. I think it's great for young entrepreneurs. Networking is everything. Network is the foundation of entrepreneurship, and you have to seek it out and you have to take advantage of it. And this is a wonderful opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it aligns well with everything that you're doing at Westcliff, building out that ecosystem of entrepreneurship at the educational level, which is something that, California was kind of a pioneer with it through Stanford and Silicon Valley. That partnership kind of launched the whole startup boom that started back in the 70s.
Right.
And we've just been growing since then. I mean, I recently moved out to Austin, Texas from California about a little over 2 years ago, and they're trying to do similar things here. They're making some progress. There's other hubs throughout the country. Yeah, I think that, with SoCal Celebrates Entrepreneurship and what you're doing over at Westcliff and what we're doing over at Cal State Fullerton, there's a lot of good things still happening with entrepreneurship in the SoCal region, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Barry, really appreciate it. One last question before I let you go. So and this is how I pretty much close out all these interviews. So what advice would you give somebody who's just starting out as an entrepreneur? Maybe one of your students.
Oh, well, that's fairly easy. You got to research the market and the competition. Competition is not a bad thing. Being fast second, I don't know if you've heard of the book, but it's by Markides and Jurowski, is a very positive thing because, let other people do the hard work. Nothing wrong with being second. You have to build a strong team and network, but do it organically and based on meritocracy. Find the most qualified and the most passionate people who can do the job. You have to test and validate your ideas and read the book Lean Startup Platform by Eric Ries. Without knowing it, I was following that when I left Harvard as a neuroscientist because I had not had any education in business, none, zero. And just by using the scientific method, which is basically Eric Ries's method, I was able to create a successful company that went public within a year. You got to seek funding resources via networking. Like I said a second ago, networking. The most important thing you can do. And I think last is be flexible and resilient. Leave your comfort zone. Take risks. If you don't take risks, you'll achieve nothing. And it's critical to recognize that failure is a learning tool. Edison once said, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I learned 10,000 things that didn't work. So failure is a very valuable asset in your journey, in your entrepreneurial journey.
I love it. That's all great advice. Thank you very much, Barry. And we'll see you and everybody else at SoCal Celebrates Entrepreneurship on March 9th, 2024. Thanks again, Barry.
Yep. Thank you.